The APU is located in the tail cone of the airplane. The air inlet is on the right side. The exhaust is on the left side. The APU can be operated up to the maximum certified altitude of the 777. The APU can be started and used in flight as well as on the ground. Electrical power is available throughout the operating envelope. The generator provides sufficient power for both main buses. Bleed air output decreases as altitude increases. Bleed air is available up to 22,000 feet if required. The air turbine starter, or ATS, is normally used to start the APU. Bleed air powers the ATS. The ATS rotates the APU turbine. If bleed air is not available for the ATS, an electric starter is used. A dedicated battery provides power for the electric starter. Now let's start the APU. The control for the APU is located on the top portion of the electrical panel. Power from the main airplane battery is required to operate the APU's inlet door, fuel valve, and fire detection system. Turn on the airplane battery. Now select Start with the APU selector. When released, a spring rotates the selector back to the on position. The fault light illuminates momentarily. During the start cycle, the APU inlet door opens. The left forward AC fuel pump or the DC fuel pump is energized. The fuel valve opens. And if there is sufficient bleed air duct pressure, the APU bleed valve opens, allowing operation of the air turbine starter. Once the APU is operating normally, the APU running message appears. APU parameters are shown on the status display. Now shut down the APU. Rotate the APU selector to off. APU bleed load is removed. And the APU running message is replaced by APU cool down. The APU is in a 105-second shutdown delay for APU cooling. When the cool down period is complete, the fuel valve closes, the inlet door closes, and the APU cool down message is removed. The fault light illuminates momentarily. Now let's look at a couple of APU non-normal conditions. Reset the master caution system. If the APU limit message appears, the APU has either high EGT, low oil pressure, or high oil temperature. Additionally, the fault light illuminates. If the airplane is on the ground with both engines shut down, the APU shuts down automatically. If the airplane is in flight or either engine is running, the APU continues to run. Shut down the APU. Notice the APU shut down immediately. With this ICAS message displayed, there is no cool down time delay. If the APU shutdown advisory message appears, the APU has automatically shut down due to a fault or a fire. The fault light also illuminates. Turning the APU selector to the off position extinguishes the fault light and removes the APU shutdown message. Rotate the selector to the off position. Another automatic feature of the APU is available in flight. In the unlikely event of loss of both main generators and both backup generators, the APU is automatically commanded to start, even if the APU selector is in the off position. To shut down the APU if normal power is restored or APU operation is no longer desired, move the APU selector to on momentarily, then back to off.